We are in Sharei Kedusha, page 103. Exactly 7 pages left. I always say this to you guys. So you guys want to feel excited, you know? You're finishing a sefer.
Shalom, how come we have numbers? We don't have numbers.
Hey, Kuf Gimel.
You said 103.
Yeah,
that's 103.
Translating Kuf Gimel is 103.
Oh.
We're I think page Shiur 53.
I think so.
Something like that.
We lost count that.
Alright. Behold, Ze Inyan Mar'ot Yechezkel HaNavi. This is the Inyan of the visions of Ezekiel. I was listening to I can't say the word crazy in this Tzaddik's presence.
Why?
Soon to be B'ezrat Hashem. Lineder B'ezrat Hashem. If he plays his cards right and listen to the Rav. Listen to the Rav.
Take off the head.
Keyword. Listen to the.
Oh, you could wear a hat. You just wear the right one.
No.
So I was listening to an amazing shiur, basically, and I've always wanted to give this shiur, but I just don't feel like you guys are in the right state yet. Of the different streams of how the Kabbalah, how the series of the Torah started, and from Moshe Rabbeinu until today, and how it basically divided into 4 different streams, and how there are different ideas, and how do we interpret all these terms and everything. Like for example, today I was delving deep into the secrets of the Ramchal. Not that I learned the Ramchal. I mean, I used to, but this is not the thing. I was learning something, and on the way it was talking about the Ramchal a lot. And the Ramchal, Moshe Chaim Lutzadu, who wrote a famous book. No? Look, Ramchal.
Oh, I have it
In Hebrew.
I know, hold on.
Misrad Yesharim.
No, that's from Moshe Cordovero. Passage of Misrad Yesharim. We all know the famous book. Whoever they said that went to Rabbi Brisk, one of his students told him, Rabbi Brisk, I finished Misrad Yesharim. I want to know a different Musar book. So the Rebbe all gets crazy, like, whoa, you finished Misrad Yesharim? You have Gilui Eliyahu Hanavi. That means the Gra said that he would have walked all the way to Italy to learn from him Torah on foot. Moshe Chaim, unfortunately, he died like he was 37, 38. He died from typhus, I think. 39 he was. He died in Akko. And which is crazy.
North.
Akko is by the beach, by the port. But his kever is in Tveria. How did he get to Tveria if he died in Akko? Rav Salman Mutzach said that's not his real grave in Tveria. He wouldn't daven over there when he used to go to Tiberias. There's the grave of Moshe Chaim Lutzatu. He wouldn't daven over there. He said some other rabbi buried here. He would skip the grave because he said he passed away in Akko. He's not here. Interesting point. It's written in the book Siftei Tzadikim.
Buried in Akko?
He's buried in Akko. He died of the Magefa. Also the Bat Ayin died in the Magefa. It was a serious Magefa in Tzfat, and he said, I'm going to be the last one to die. Basically, I'm taking everything with me. And that's what happened. So Moshe Chaim said also the Ari died in a Magefa. He also died in a Magefa. Passed away in a Magefa. Magefot were a normal thing. It was a common thing back then. They didn't have sewer systems, this, that. You understand? I was teaching history, like this depopulation theory kills me, because if you look at the world population, like 150 years ago, the world population was said to be like about 200 million. And then there was this boom, because of the technology and everything, the status of life, medicine, and it went to I think we're like at 8 billion right now. Mm-hmm. And I said all this time we've been
Chinese know the secret.
Understand, huh?
Chinese know the secret.
The Chinese.
How to multiply.
Yeah. They say Indians are more than them. They're more than them. The most common face in this world is an Indian face.
And Muslims.
No, Indian. They beat them. They're more.
No, thinking about China, there's a lot of undocumented children that are born that never.
So they're really up ahead. You're saying. Okay. So, anyways, there's a lot of people in this world. There's still plenty of room because most people are in urban places. Anyways, so there was a lot of diseases. And a lot of plagues, and there was a lot of hidapkut in the Ari, or not Chaim Vital, but the Ramchal. Unfortunately, they all went to the Magefa. So what I want to say is that the Ramchal HaKadosh, his idea was in Kalach Pitchei Chochmah that all the things we learn in Kabbalah and the Sod, there is five systems, right? There's Arich, Abba, Ima, Za, Nok. There is, Galgalim. There's spheres, and there's Igulim. Remember we learned also is Olamot Igulim and Yoshe. These are not things in reality. They're not things that are in actuality. They're all prophetic visions. It's not like you die and you go to Atzilut, according to the Ramchal. Seemingly, in Kalach P'tchei Chokhmah, in his book, like there's no kind of thing like you like it's not a mitziut. It's all a vision. Like all these things that Ari saw, this was all prophetic visions, like the Markavot of Yecheskel. It's all a vision. You understand? It's all in the machshava. You understand? This was the Ramchal's way of interpreting all these terms and systems.
According to him, where do you go?
According to the Sephardic,
According to him, where do you go?
there is a Gan Eden. There is a Gan Eden. It's something physical. But all these things we say of Atzilut, there are systems, this and that. These are all hanhagot of Hashem. These are all ways that God. These are all mashals.
Disguise.
They're all parables. It's all allegories to understand how Hashem rules in this world. Like Abba and Ima would be the father and mother in a family. Arich Keter would be the grandfather. How come there is no female in Arich? Is because just like in a family, the grandmother doesn't say anything in front of the grandfather. She's always behind the grandfather, Nafasya. So too, in the upper world, in the parable, the Keter doesn't have a Nekeva. Then there is Zun, and when the Malchut goes into the Galut, that means like in the Am Yisrael goes into the Galut over here. It's all a parable to understand. It's Hanhaga. Hanhaga means the ways that Hashem runs this world. It's all visions. It's all a parable. On the other hand, this is a very big stream of secrets of the Torah. This is the way many people learn it. It's all mashalim, and you have to learn the nimshal. You have to learn what is the nimshal? What is the
source?
No, how do I interpret it in my life?
Outcome.
Exactly. How does Hashem rule in this world? That's one stream. Another stream of the Torah Hasod, and by the way, this all should be one cheer, just discussing what's the Ramchal's. Another stream of the Kabbalah is the Baal Shem Tov, the Hasidus. In the Hasidut's world, all the Kabbalistic terms and everything can be interpreted in the human being himself. You understand? The Keter is in me. The Tiferet is in me. When I get happy, I wake up the Binah. When I nullify myself, I'm in the state of Chokhmah. When I'm no, it's not Kabbalah Ma'asid. It's the way I act. I'm the 10 Sefirot. It's the Nefesh. It's in my Nefesh. You understand? Everything is in my Nefesh. That's another stream. The Tish, when you go to the Rebbe and he gives you the Shirayim, and everybody's dancing with the Rebbe, and you're connected to the Rebbe. Like he's the power source, he's the Keter, and you're the Talmud. You nullify yourself. You're reaching the level of Chokhmah. It's another stream, and then there's another stream of Kabbalah, which is what the Sephardic stream is. That all these things that we learn, they're actual mitziut. That means there is a world called Atzilut. You understand? And in that world, it's total spiritual. There's no klipa over there, and there's 10 Sefirot of Hanhaga of Hashem. It's an actual place. It just can't be explained in this finite. Compared to this finite world, it's infinite itself. And that compared to the Ein Sof is finite. You understand? So there's 3. It's called Olam, Shana, and Nefesh, or Rishetel Ashan, smoke.
Ashan?
Har Sinai was full of smoke.
Yeah.
How do you spell smoke? Ayin, Olam. That's the Sephardic way of looking at it. Shin, Shana, which means the Hanhaga. How does Hashem rule this world? No. And Nefesh. So a big Mikubal, a person that's not narrow-minded, could say, well, they don't all 3 contradict. You could learn all 3 of them and say that they don't contradict. They're all 3 correct. You understand? In fact, I heard something wild. I heard something amazing today. The name of the Ma'abar book. I heard something. The name of the Ma'avar book. He was a very big tzaddik, Rabbi Aaron Berech Modina. He was an Italian rabbi. He said over there, let's say you can't go to your father's grave. He wrote a book called Ma'avar book, where he talks about everything about the deceased. What happens when a person dies? Where does he go? A lot of scary stuff over there. And he writes over there was another, I think his cousin of Arya Mimodina. He didn't believe in Kabbalah. He said it's all fake. He was an Italian rabbi. He was a big philosopher. And at the end of his life, he believed in Kabbalah. What happened? There was a kid that was born, and right before he died, he screamed out Shema Yisrael. The child got sick. It was like 6 months old. The Chida writes the Zan in Shema Gedolim. Of Aaron Mimodina, he was he has a book called Kol Ari, something like that. Don't quote me. And Ari Nohem, it's called Ari Nohem. Before the lion roars, when he breathes into the air, it gets all moisty. How do you call it when the lion how do you he breathes heavy, and then when from his nostrils come out that smoke, it's called Nohem. So he writes a book called Ari Nohem, and I think it's inside Ari Nohem, he writes how all the Kabbalah is fake. He was a big philosopher. He was during the time of the Renaissance. Art, this, that, and he himself was he held that it was all fake. And Chida writes in Shema Gedolim that at the end of his life he did believe in it. What happened? There was a kid that was born, and he was very sick. He was like a couple of months old. And right before he died, he actually blurted out Shema Yisrael like a grown man. Shema Yisrael. The baby is 7 months old. Can't even imagine Shema Yisrael. And then the Shema came out. And from that day on, he believed. He started believing it from Gilgulim. How does a kid allowed Shema Yisrael? It must be Gilgulim are true. If Gilgulim are true, and the whole thing is true. And and at the end of his life, though, they say Chas v'Shalom that Muad'Dib used to tell us this: whoever believes that Kabbalah is fake, he comes back to a Gilgul and a dog, and it always barks because it says Al tiyu kesus. Don't be a sus. Don't be a sus. Don't be a horse. Keferet, like a mule, and havin, it doesn't understand. What does that mean? Don't be like a horse and don't be like a mule. Don't be like a sus. What's the first letter of secrets in the Torah? Samech. Don't be a sus. What is sus? Sod v'sod. Just give me secrets of the Torah. I don't want to learn Gemara. I don't want to learn Halacha. I don't want to learn Mishnah. I don't want to learn anything. Just give me sod. Don't be like a sus. Don't just give me sod. Keperet. Don't be like a mule. How do you spell peret? Pei, reish, dalet. Pshat. Remes Drash. I just want to learn halacha all day. Don't be just learning sod, and don't be just learning halacha. That's called ein havin. You're never going to understand anything in your life. The Ari says, before people come back in a Gilgul just to learn a part of the Torah that they missed out on. People will come back in the world just for that. You could be sitting in this shiur and just fixing one part of your neshama that you missed out all your previous Gilgulim. Go ahead. And in my shiur on Torah Lishma, which I'm already preparing for a year, and I was gonna say to you that the maskana is, Chaim Vital says that a person who learns Torah, let's say he learns Torah to be called a Rav. He wants to get a job as a Rav, right? That, according to many opinions, means he's not learning Torah Lishma. He's not learning Torah for the sake of learning Torah, for the sake of the mitzvot. He's just learning it to be called a Rav. There's another opinion. What does it mean not learning Torah Lishma? I'm learning Torah just to put somebody else down. I'm finding out the halacha to put the rabbi down. The likanter. You know what likanter means? To make jangarozi. In Kollel you find many people like that. Likanter. They do stuff likanter. It's called Shalom Lishma. Unfortunately, there is many people like that. They just learn to get to, like when you're about to sit down and somebody pulls the chair below you. So it's a very big area. Once one person did that to me. Actually pulled off the chair. Forgave. And malaso. So, actually a family member. So, and I was a kid. I don't know how embarrassing that was. Some people could go to therapy for that for life. Anyways, so Chaim Vital says, what does that mean? A person who doesn't learn Torah Lishma? A person who learns all of his life not to be called a rabbi, uses it for Hashem, but he doesn't learn the secrets of the Torah. That's the real meaning. All your life you're learning Gemara, Mishnah, Halacha, Gemara, Mishnah, but you don't want to open up the true meaning. Why Hashem said this? How Hashem runs this world? What's the meaning of tzitzit? Why does it have 5 knots? Why is it 8 strings? What's the techelet? What's the kavanah of techelet? You don't want to know. You don't want to see the kavod of Hashem. That's called that you never learned in your life Torah Lishma. Then there is a higher level. Let's say you learned the sod, but you didn't want to implement it in your life. You just learned it as a chokhmah. So you wanted to learn it, but you didn't want to use it. You didn't want to do the kavanot. You didn't want. It's also not lishma. There's levels. There's levels of not lishma. And then there is vapshe, a level that a person before he learns Torah, there's a kavanah. What does it mean to learn Torah lishma? Do you know there is a Rav, this is one of my favorite Sfarim, called Netiv Mitzvotecha, Rabbi Mikomarna. He writes in his book at Tzaddik, while he's walking outside, he could do mitzvot midoraita. While he eats food, he's doing mitzvot midoraita. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're eating rice. While you're eating rice, you could do more than when a person is learning Gemara. How so?
Come
How do you spell rice in Hebrew?
on.
Orez.
Ein.
Orez is or, zayin. The words in Hebrew, they're not a coincidence. The light, the root of that thing that you're eating is in its name. So let's say I'm eating rice. In rice is or, the light of zayin. Zayin is the letter zayin. What's the 7th sphira? Malchut. So you have to think while you're eating rice that you're eating the sphira of Malchut.
And then
While as you're eating it, you're bringing its shefa down to the scroll and to your neshama and to all your root souls. Now a person could do that in tefillah by doing million of kavanot, or by just learning Torah, or doing some mitzvot, or taking upon himself the kingship of Hashem. But you're doing that by eating rice. Imagine what you're doing when you're actually saying Shema. Now a person is eating watermelon. What's the gemat? How do you say watermelon in Hebrew? Avatiyah. Aleph, Tet, Bet, Chet. Do you know the whole kavanah of Shemona Yisrael, how to build the sphira of the Malchut, is in the letters Aleph, Tet, Bet, Chet, which is how you spell Avatiyah. So the rabbi who's eating the Avatiyah, he knows the kavanah. Well, what is he doing over there? So for a real tzaddik, this is what the Baal Shem Tov used to do. Because everything has the light of Hashem inside of it. Everything is michayeh by Hashem. How come I don't serve it? If the table has the light of God in it, how come I can't serve it? That means this has godliness. You have godliness in you. This was the mistake of the generation of Enosh. That's how they started to do Avodah Zarah.
they worshipped everything.
Why? Because they weren't idiots. They knew that in everything there is godliness. Understand what I'm saying? So they started to say, if everything has godliness in it, that means I could draw out the God from everything. But they don't know that if when you take God and you put him in a vessel, chas v'shalom,
It's limited.
you're limiting it, and that by definition is not God. And that's why Hashem says in the Torah, every time you put an image to me, that's Avodah Zarah. I'm not an image. I'm not a man.
Object.
I'm not an object. I'm not the sun. I'm nothing. I'm the Ein Sof. I allow you to speak to me in certain terms, but I'm not that term. I'm just allowing you to speak to me in that term. What are those terms? Amonai, Elokim. What do those terms mean? Simple. My master, my king. But those generations thought, well, God is in the sun, and the sun is so powerful. Why can't I jump up to that level? And they started to serve. I'm telling you guys, it's deep secrets right now. They started to serve the sun. It didn't start as serving the sun. It started as serving the godliness, the angel of the sun. The godliness, because they knew how to connect to the angel of the sun, the godliness of the sun. You understand? The Hodim, they serve it. You know, there's Hodim. Yeah. But you know, the Hodim, there's a sect of Hodim called Jainism.
Yeah.
Jainism,
It's been around for 10,000
yeah, not 10,000 because it's no such kind of thing, but Jainism, you know, when they walk outside, they wear a mask. Why? So God forbid they're not going to breathe in some kind of mosquito or something, because the mosquito is godly. Yeah, when they walk with a broom. There shouldn't be any ants on the floor, because it's holy. Everything is holy, everything is godly, you understand? That's Avodah Zarah. When you put God in a vessel, chas v'shalom, it's Avodah Zarah. Hashem doesn't want you to serve him through a limited object. Okay? Therefore, when you see the Maaseh Merkava, we're going to learn about the Maaseh Merkava tonight. When Yechezkel saw the Maaseh Merkava, he said, I saw Ke'ein Adam. I saw like the vision of a man sitting on a chair. He didn't say, I saw a man.
Yeah.
He said, I perceived HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the Sfirot. But that's not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's how Hashem wants me to perceive him right now, through the Midot. What are Midot? The attributes. Hashem is not Chesed. Whoever says God is the God of love is doing Avodah Zarah. It's pure Avodah Zarah. God is the God of love. God is the God of fear. God is the God of beauty. No, God is God. He's everything. And he's nothing at the same time. What does that mean, he's nothing at the same time? Because if you can't be fear. We cannot perceive. We're finite objects.
Yeah.
You understand? We're finite. We cannot perceive God on such a level. Hashem says there are times where I reveal myself. On Yam Suf, he revealed himself, Kabutabi, as a warrior. And in Har Sinai, he revealed himself as a teacher. We cannot perceive such a thing. You understand? When do you start to perceive such a thing? A little bit. When you become a father. Why? On one hand, you're the son. On the other hand, you're the husband. And then you're the father. Sometimes you also have to be the cleaner.
Discipline.
Sometimes you have to be the vacuum cleaner, you know? Like one time I was, when your kid throws something, like you don't want to waste the food, so you just put, so now you know what it means to be a soup. the drainage. Yeah, because that's what it means to be an Abba. When you're a grandfather, you're already above everything. You already got to the level of Keter. Now some people want to run away from that. You're never going to run away from it.
It means somebody doing everything.
You know what I
to
mean?
Say whatever you said when you Abba every day. Everybody.
Everybody does whatever you say, but at the same time you do everything for everyone.
Yeah.
Because when you say to do it, you're the one playing the strings. And you're total chesed. It means a grandfather that's not total chesed. What does that mean? He's not tapping into the... Why do you think you turn white when you get older? Why are you turning white? White is the color of chesed. It's the color of rachamim. It's the color of keter. Black is the color of malchut. God's way of telling you that it's time. It means your time is coming to an end. It's already... when you're at work and suddenly it's getting lunch break, it's already getting towards the end of the day. That's when you start to turn white in your life. It's like it's time to get ready for the for the end. That's what it means when you're getting white. Person who's getting white early, it's a sign from Shamayim. It's time for you to reach the level of chesed faster.
You mean in terms of like your hair or general?
Whoever turns his hair white before his beard, it's not good. First your beard has to turn white and then your hair.
Why is that good?
Why? Because your beard is the 13 attributes of mercy.
Look at this guy.
You understand? Your hair has to stay din until the end.
What is at the same time?
Oh, this is mamash tzadikim v'chasidim.
So if you go bald,
It's never the
it's
same
good?
time. So always one faster than the other.
If you go bald, it's good.
Bold is not. Bold means that your givurot are going away. It means your gevurot are going away in your shorish neshama. But it could be in the chitzoniyut that's happening, but in the pnimiyut you're not reaching that level. How are you going to reach if you don't learn Torah? Everything in your body, for example, a person, right? He suffers from his nose. He suffers from his nose. What does that mean? There's a root behind it. Why are you suffering from your nose? What pigam are you doing that's connected to your nose?
Smelling Avodah Zarah.
Yeah, who smells Avodah Zarah today?
You're sticking.
What are
your
you?
nose-
You
Baking
sticking your
soda.
nose into something that you're not supposed to.
Not for sure.
But where in the Torah do we see that the word nose is used?
And that's it.
Vayichar af Hashem. And Hashem got angry. How does it say in the Torah? Kabuta be the nose of Hashem got angry. Kabuta be. If a person gets angry too much, he's pogem in his shorosh neshama in the af.
Not in the pay?
No.
What's that have to do with the eye?
Vayichar af Hashem. The anger is associated
Nose.
with the af.
Oh,
What does that have to do with the nose?
When a person gets angry, kabuta be, it's like steam is coming out of his
like
nose.
that.
Like the ashan is coming. He's getting angry. You understand? So kabuta be in shamayim, so too your shorsh neshama is overabundance of givura, and that causes a reciprocal effect to your neshama. And suddenly, now there's a difference if your right side gets worse and your left side gets worse.
Is it different on the
You
size of the
understand?
nose too?
Yeah, size.
Bukhari.
Really, Jewish people have to have big and long noses.
Why?
Why? Because Keter, which is Rachaim, is called Arich Anpin.
Arich.
The long. Everything is big. That's called Rachamim.
Oh, I thought it's a good word.
It's a mashal. No. It's a mashal. It's all a mashal. It's all a parable. It's all a parable. See, this is what the Ramchal is talking about. How do I learn this in the Hanhaga
And then
of Hashem? But we're getting into deep concepts over here, guys. This is not. We're supposed to learn the Sharei Kedusha. Let's do one page of Sharei Kedusha. I see over here the Lewi. The Lewi. There was one guy in Brooklyn. He called himself Halawa Halewi. He came out to be an Arab. Halawa Halewi. He called himself. The guy, he went on air and he said, "I'm sorry, this, that."
Yeah, became famous already.
Yeah.
All over the news.
They made him into a terrorist. They made him this.
But he's not, right?
He says he's not. He says he wants to convert. I think at this point there is no roads.
For him,
Our
right?
club is full. We don't need new members.
We're done. When Mashiach comes, everything is closed. You know that, right?
That's it.
V'ineh zeh inyan Mordechai Cheskel. This is how we understand the visions of Ezekiel. Hanikra Maaseh HaMerkava, which are called the works of the chariot. Liyot hamadregod murkavot. So why? God's midot are interconnected like a chariot. You have to know how they work together. You understand? How they shtim. You understand? The mikubal, that tzaddik, knows how all the midot of Hashem are not contradicting each other. Everything is working in complete perfection and unison. ותחילה נפתחו השמיים שערי הרקיעים שהם אורות החומר והכלים שבאותו עולם. First, the world of Asiyah opened for him. When he saw the vision, first the world of Asiyah opened up. ומשם נכנס אל הקלי. Then he saw the klipot. What are the klipot called? רוח סערה, ענן גדול ואש מתלקחת. There's 3 klipot. Ruach Sara, Anan Gadol, and Esh Mitlakachat. And then inside of that, there is the Or Hanoga. Or Hanoga is what we have to fix in this world. That's your Yetzer HaTov and your Yetzer Hara. All your job in this world is your Yetzer HaTov and your Yetzer Hara. That's it. That's your Or Hanoga. Those are the 2 angels that come with you on Shabbat night, by the way. They're not outside of you. They're inside of you.
They're talking.
They're inside of you. They're not talking.
Huh?
No. They're talking to you.
Yeah.
You know where you get them from? Your parents. And the night of the conception. And this is what's written in the book of Hosea. Techila diber Hashem beHosea. First, God spoke to the Hosea, the prophet. Retzono lomar. First, God hitgalut dibur hanivuah היה נגלה תחילה הקליפה וכוחותיה. Hashem eshet zinunim v'yadei zinunim. God told the Navi Hosea, go marry a harlot.
Why?
How do you understand that? But he's telling him to go make mamzerim. That if you look open to the book of Hosea,
What's so hard?
harlot is zona.
Okay, how come it's how
Huh? Yeah, we just read it last week.
how
Yeah.
come it's mamzerim? It doesn't.
Because God
married.
said because she's a harlot.
She's not married.
One
though.
night she's with him. The other but she's no. He
You
told her
know
to marry. He told him to marry her.
You don't know which child it
Okay.
is.
And then she's pregnant, but she went into her harlotry ways.
But the famous one,
Huh?
Yoshua's wife was also ex.
No, but she was Hosea. She did teshuva. This Hoshea's wife, Gomer Badiv, like so he's understanding it seemingly in Sharei Kedusha that it was all a parable. It was an allegory. He didn't actually go and marry a harlot. It's an allegory to first Hosea saw the vision of the klipot. That's what it means. Go get yourself a harlot. First, learn how to pass through the klipot. By the way, the Leshem Shov Achlama has a whole shiur on this. This is the secret of Adam HaRishon's real sin. He went to deal with the klipot. He wasn't supposed to. This is the Noach's problem too. When he went to get drunk right after the ark, he wasn't supposed to do that. He wanted to go fight the klipot. Yosef went in and came out alive. Rabbi Akiva went in, came out alive because that was their job to do that. But Adam and Noach weren't supposed to because the world was fixed already. After the Mabul, everything was in a state of renewal. What are you going to deal with the klipot? You're Adam now. What are you doing? But instead he got drunk, and then the whole story redid itself. It restarted to the same thing that Adam did. Okay? אמנם ביתו השמיים גם שם היה מדבק וצופק כמו שכתוב נפתחו השמיים במאורות אלוהים. And then Ezekiel saw the heavens in the visions of God. אבל כשיגיע למקום הקהלי לא היה נהנה לדבק בהם. This is the secret. When you see the klipa, you're not allowed to enjoy from it. When you see that beautiful woman outside, when you see her, right away you have to move away. That's the klipa. You're not Hosea, and you're not Noah. Your klipa is small fry, but for you it's big. When you see her, right away, don't have the least hana'ah you have from her, the higher your chances are to be Kedusha. The more hana'ah you stick with her, the more you're going to fall that day. And every day you start fresh. You start fresh every single day. You get recharged and you start fresh. When Yecheskel saw the 3 klipot of the Anan Gadol Esh Mitlakach Al Ruach Sa'ara, he didn't want to look at it. He didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want to deal with the klipa. He didn't want to fight with it. He didn't want to look into it. And it's very enjoyable to look over there. Ela Korea over, he ripped through it and he went straight. They don't need back by him. He only saw them because he needed to for that moment. And this is the secret of Eliyahu Hanavi. God told Eliyahu, Lo berash, I'm not going to come to you with lightning, with noise. Lo ba'esh, I'm not going to come to you with fire. I'm going to come to you quietly towards the way of the Kedusha. Umisham nichnas lemichitzat ora malachim. After you break through the klipa, how do you break through? Not by breaking through them, by ignoring them. And then you get to the world of the malachim, which is the world of Yitzirah. And between every world there is a paragod, a mechitza, a veil. And this is the meaning of the word chashmal, electricity.
Isn't that like
Chashmal.
Isn't that like spectrum? Spectrum?
A chashmal is a levush. It's the same numerical value as levush. Levush is your clothing. The secret of your clothing is chashmal. That's the chashmal between worlds. And so that's why before you wear your clothing, there's a special L'Shem Yichud of the Ben Ish Chai. Every time you get new clothes, there's a special L'Shem Yichud of the Ben Ish Chai and L'Shon Chachamim. Your clothes are very powerful things. Don't ever wear tight clothing. It's not good for you. You're limiting your you're limiting your malbush. You're limiting your chashmal. Your chashmal is your protection.
It's a fitted clothing.
You understand?
Fitted clothing style.
I don't know about fitted, but tight. Everything tight. Yeah, everything tight. You know?
Can't wear tight pants?
Ripped clothing. Very bad to your chashmal. It's a sign your chashmal is missing. There's holes in your chashmal. So you guys are in a Sharei Kedusha shiur. I'm not going to talk to you guys in a low level. I'm talking to you guys in the highest level possible over here. That I could. Your chashmal is something very powerful. And your clothes are your chashmal.
Doesn't matter if it's a guy or girl?
Huh?
Doesn't matter if it's a guy
Girls, they're doing a lot of pegams in their chashmal.
So it's better to
Lots of pegams in their chashmal. That's why their nishamot are very frail, because everyone's bad energies are breaking through their chashmal.
So it's better to wear
They're
more
full.
clothes?
Huh?
They're full. They're wearing dress.
It's your fault. Because you're not doing what Ezekiel did. You're not passing through it. You're looking at it and you're enjoying from it.
Give them
Well, they
energy.
may-
You're giving them that energy.
So it's
You're
better-
connecting like that.
It's better to wear more clothing, articles,
It's better to be dressed normally.
It's better to buy granata.
like
And get a granata, like he said.
but
Let's finish the paragraph. This chashmal, its source is in the bodies of angels. Its source is in the bodies of angels. Rav Chaim says Hashem should forgive me for revealing this secret.
Why?
Because you're not allowed to reveal secrets to people who are not worthy. And then Yecheskel saw 10 classes of angels. These 10 classes are divided into 4 camps, into 4 chayot. Those are special angels. Those are the carriers of the Merkava. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Nuriel. Some say Uriel. His name changes from Nuriel to Uriel.
Aren't they all one?
They're all really one, except for Michael and Gabriel.
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
level.
They're all mad.
The Bukharim used to have a minhag when they had twin sons to call them Michael and Gabriel.
Yeah.
Until some crazy story happened, I don't know, like some kind of tragedy, and they started naming their twin sons Sason v'Simcha. Come on.
Can you
Sason v'Simcha.
name your child that name Matat?
Don't do that.
Why?
That's what means Ezekiel then saw the 4 chayot, these 4 angels. He saw them.
The lion.
You saw them.
The Nesher. Yeah.
Those are just terminologies for Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. Umisham nichnas. That means the lion, all these animals, their sources are in these 4 angels.
Like Adam will be, or the face of a man will be Michael, right?
No, Michael is the lion.
What's
That's
the
why
point?
Michael is the fire of the Mizbeach that looked like a lion.
So wait, who's that? Who's the Adam then? Who's the face? Of
He's the 4th.
Yeah, but who's the face?
He's the 4th one.
No, who's the which one of the
Tiferet.
angels? Yeah,
He's Keneged Tiferet.
Which animal you mean?
He's Keneged Yaakov Avinu.
Which
Yaakov
part
Avinu.
of the angel that you said? Because I know there's 4,
Michael,
right?
Gabriel.
Right, Gabriel is the ox,
Yeah, Gabriel is the Gibura.
Axe.
Nuriel
right?
is gonna be the eagle,
The eagle, okay.
and Raphael.
Oh.
That's the key.
That's the key.
Who's that?
Raphael is Rapach Nitzotzot. Rapach Nitzotzot, 288 sparks.
I like axe.
He's healing, so he heals.
You gotta heal. Gabriel, you gotta heal. Learn to heal.
Yeah.
And then he went to the 10 ספירות themselves. ונכנס אל 10 ספירות, וזה שכתוב, ועל דמות הכיסא כמראה אדם. And then he saw like kabut to be a man sitting. What man he saw? The 10. No, he saw the 10 ספירות. He saw the 10 vessels, which are in the they're in 3 columns, like a man. Like we are like in 3 columns, so too he saw the Hanhaga of Hashem. ואמנם הכיסא עצמו הוא אור מחזיר נשמו, and that כיסא that he saw, the actual Merkava, not the Sphirot that are on it, but the Merkava, the seat, that's where our souls come from.
Peliki?
Huh?
What's called?
This, what?
Another word for Merkava?
Merkava is a chariot.
I know, it's another word for it. Peliki?
It's really.
אמנם הכיסא עצמו אור מחזיר נשמו בסוד האבות הם מרכבה, and that's why the Avot are the 4 legs of the chair. Who's the 4th?
David.
No, David.
David.
And that's why, if you want to connect to the Avot, you have to read Tehillim.
One day finish the book.
The big tzaddikim in Kolel used to say, Tehillim is Bitul Torah.
Yeah.
That's what they used to say. To read Tehillim is Bitul Torah. Why they say that? Their neshama is a bikatnut. So in an immature state. They think everything is Bitul Torah. Just learning Gemara is not Bitul Torah.
That's Hakim.
So Rav Chaim Vital did Bitul Torah. The Ari HaKadosh did Bitul Torah. But when they need the brachot, they go to the Ari HaKadosh and Rav Chaim. Don't mevin. What's the connection? To fast is Bitul Torah. To do mitzvot is Bitul Torah. There's time to do Torah, there's time to do the mitzvot, time to do tikunim. כל דבר יש לו את הזמן שלו. You're not going to go up in the madrega if you're not going to be complete. Am I right or wrong? So the avot are the Merkava. Gabriel, you're not listening. You're with me?
Axe.
I know you're the ox. You're the shor. By the way, whoever's name is Gabriel, they have to think of the name Aleph Bet Gimel Yud Taf Tzadik. Ana Bakoh Bidurat Yiminecha Atir Tzurura. You know why that name is the Gematria Shor? The ox.
So I have to sing.
Aleph Bet Gimel Yud Taf Tzadik. And that name, by the way, breaks the klipot.
I can sing. Ana Bakor.
If a person has Abraham,
Sing at home.
if a person has Abraham, what they say?
Abraham.
What am I called? They say?
Seba.
Abraham. Today's Avraham Dov Me'avrich.
Average.
Not
You look like a dove too, by the way.
Not
Avram Dov. Avram Dov.
We got another bidding number, by the way.
Are you listening?
Except of
John?
Mazal, we have Bitachon now.
Bitachon. Is that 75? Oh, I like that. כל הכבוד, Gabriel. ולכן נקרא נפש כבוד.
Somebody's excited.
And the nefesh is called kavod.
Wow.
The honor. The soul is the honor. כמו שכתוב, למען יזמרך, I will sing to you kavod. Honor. ולא ידום, and I will not be silent. וכתיב עד מי כבודי לחיילים One last sentence, turn the page. Hine giliti lecha sod amok she'inyan hamerkava. I have just revealed to you guys today the secret, the deep secrets of the merkava. Wow, you guys were zochet to this. Asher lo zachu dorot hakodmim. The early generations didn't know the secret. Your grandfather didn't know this. Your great-grandfather didn't know this. I don't care if they were Mekubalim in Bukhara. He says that they were not zochet to this. I don't care if they split the sea. He says, Lo zaku dorot hakodmim. I'll never forget. You was sitting right there. Some very famous Bukhari. Speak to him because every Shabbat keep Shabbat. Oh, he's nighty. Cho Bill, Maya Atzitz. Adushambe. Cho Bill. Who he was? Who he was? Ribono shel olam. The Sod Amok. And now he's going to say, Ki kol ha-nevi'im yonkim mishoresh echad. All the prophets suckle from one root. So, within 600,000. There's 600,000 roots in every world, and the Nevi'im are one root in 600,000.
So this all from the 600,000?
That means all prophets come from the same Shorish Neshama. And this is the meaning of the Pasuk. Of the Navi. No, of the Chachamim, the words of the Chazal. Shishim Ribo Nivi'im Amdu B'Yisrael. There were 600 prophets throughout all of Israel, from the beginning of its inception till today.
600,000?
And Moshe Rabbeinu included all of them.
Wow. Everything came from
Wow. If you just came to hear that, wow.
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 From his soul, everybody.
That means all the Nevi'im
from him.
are from Moshe Rabbeinu.
Because he was the
Wow.
first. He was the first.
Is it from Adam? All of
He's
it?
saying Moshe Rabbeinu, Jonah.
Only Chachamim.
You're thinking because Adam had all the souls inside of him. That's another thing. But once the soul split to 600,000 roots, Moshe Rabbeinu is the main root of the Nevi'im. He's the root of the Nevi'im.
He's the daddy.
He's the main one. When was the last time you lit a candle for your forefather, Moshe Rabbeinu? He was a Levite. When's the last time you lit a candle for him? Now you're gonna go home, you're gonna light a candle for him. Exactly. Tough. But Moshe Rabbeinu, he was different than all the prophets. He saw in the world of Atzilut itself. Haya ro'eh b'Atzilut mamash.
He went just from mine, bro.
Yecheskel only saw in the world of Yetzirah. Gabriel.
Wow.
But Moshe Rabbeinu saw in the world. You know what it is to see a Nabuah in the world of Atzilut? Wow. What kind of generation they were lucky to see Moshe Rabbeinu. If only we could see him in a dream even.
Amazing, right?
He had Nebuah in the world of Atzilut. In the Yud of Hashem's name. Yud Kei Vav Kei. אלא הוא על ידי שהתלבשו בבריאה לבדה. וגם זה אינו אלא דרך מעבר לבד. His prophecy came from Atzilut itself, clothed in the world of Bria, but just like a clothing. Not that he saw from Bria. He saw from Atzilut. But the Bria was just like a telescope, like spectacles. כי אצילות לבדו הוא נמנע. כי לא יודע לך. Hashem said, when God told Moses, no man can see me.
Right.
What did he mean? Nobody could see in the world of actual Atzilut. You can't actually go inside Atzilut and see. You could see in Bria, you could see Atzilut through Bria. Yecheskel just saw Yetzirah, he didn't even see Atzilut. You understand what I'm saying? You're not following me. And all the Nevi'im, they saw only through the Beidlabshut Gamur. They only saw the Atzilut when it was revealed totally in a full concealment in the world of Bria. And Yecheskel, which was after the Chorban Beit HaMikdash, he saw it Beyitzirah, Beitlabshut Beyitzirah, while it was fully clothed in the world of Yitzirah, like it was after the Chorban Beit HaMikdash. Wow, I'm revealing you secrets right now. I'm shaking myself. This is maybe the 5th time I'm reading this, and you guys are over here sleeping on me. And on this, the Navi says,
What do you mean that better English? I don't get it on that.
Ezekiel prophesies after the destruction of the
After
temple.
destruction.
Therefore, he could only reach the world of Yetzirah. All the prophets before Ezekiel reached the world of Briah. Moses himself reached the world of Atzilut. Following? Now you know the difference between Moses and all the other prophets. And Ezekiel had the zechut to see the third temple, Gog uMagog, and Tchiat HaMetim. That means whoever doesn't believe in Tchiat HaMetim, he doesn't believe in God. Whoever doesn't believe in Mashiach doesn't believe in God. Whoever doesn't believe in the third Beit HaMikdash doesn't believe in God. These things will happen. If me and you are going to do kavanot, mitzvot, learn Torah, get married, bring children, listen to the Rav.
Take over the head.
Why can't we just call them ignorant?
We can't. This generation is not a generation of ignorance. The Navi says, Isaiah, Ki male'a ha'aretz de'at Hashem kemayim leyam mechasim. The world will fill God with knowledge. We can't be ignorant anymore. Now I'm gonna tell you a secret. We're in page Kuf Daled in the middle of the paragraph. I'm gonna tell you a secret. Do you know what kind of enjoyment you're gonna have when Mashiach comes? You're gonna eat the Leviathan.
Ooh, and drink the wine.
What is it?
It's better than salmon. That's like you told me.
You're gonna eat the Leviathan. You know what's gonna happen when you eat the Leviathan? Can I tell you what I've been learning lately? When you eat, which part of your body feels the enjoyment? Just the tongue and the palate, right? Imagine if when you ate food, that enjoyment was felt throughout your whole body. You would be on cloud 9.
You always gonna eat.
Imagine what a zivug would be at that time.
When I eat the shrine, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
The whole body.
That's the difference between enjoyment in our times and then when you're gonna eat the Leviathan, you know what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna reach the oneg that hasn't ever been seen except for Adam. In those couple of hours, he was alive before the sin.
Isn't that during Tchiat HaMetim?
No, before Tchiat HaMetim.
It's sensory overload.
And then you're gonna see an animal that's called the behemoth. Behemoth Beharare Aleph. And you're gonna see a bird called the Ziz Sadai, and you're gonna reach the Da'at HaKadmon. The inner Da'at that's called Kodesh HaKodashim.
This is when Mashiach comes.
Yes, if you will live to see that day.
Which Mashiach are you referring to?
I'm talking about the one and only.
Two
Mashiach ben Dawid.
Cannot you overdose booze?
You know what's gonna happen? God's gonna take the skin of the Leviathan and spread it over the walls of Jerusalem. You don't know what kind of enjoyment is waiting for Klal Yisrael.
Let's go, let's bring it.
Let's do it.
But to do that, we still have a little bit more work left to do. So, we're done? Oh, we're still rolling over here. I'm talking about if you're the Leviathan.